Welcome back, everyone, to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. Now, to give you a summary of what happened in the previous video at event number 2 on the calendar in Beijing, it was a weird race. The weirdest thing probably being that I completely ran Rodriguez out of gas in the final lap because I simply wasn't paying enough attention to it and didn't realize he was that short on fuel. So I ran him out of gas, cost him probably 4 or 5 positions on track. But overall, I'm really not terribly worried about it. And the reason is something we're going to look at in the standings. So driver standings were 11th and 12th. Again, not terribly worried about that. But if we come over to team standings, here's why I'm not terribly worried about what happened. Okay, we are expected to come in 7th or above. So we're right now below that target because we're in 9th. But if you look at how the points work in this particular series, we're only 1 points paying position out of 7, which is our target. And of course, that'll change as the year goes along, I'm sure. But what it means is as the year goes on and we continue to make our cars stronger and we continue to learn, hopefully I'll learn and get better as managing these races, then I see that we'll have the ability to have at least one driver in each and every race, and hopefully both, with an opportunity each race to finish in points paying positions, either through strategy or all out speed as the year goes on. So I'm confident that we can get here as time goes on. But again, as other teams get better, maybe they surpass us and maybe we can't get there. But regardless of that, I think we've got a shot of getting to at least 7th, if not higher, before the end of the season. So we'll see how that goes. All right, we'll start out. We'll get some of these emails out of the way, these news stories I really don't care anything about. So we'll go on and move ahead to car repair being complete. There's our email for that. So that gives us an opportunity to come in and look at our parts. So we're still a couple of weeks away from our new part, and it's not going to be done in time to do any real work on it before the next race. So let's come into improved parts and see what we're working on. For one thing, I'm going to clear out the performance side of things and probably redo that. I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention to it simply because there's not a whole lot of improvement that we can make on our base products, or what they're calling the original products. And instead, we're going to focus on some other things. So here on reliability, everything is in the 40s. So we definitely want to keep all of the staff over here and focused on that. But if we look ahead a little bit, we've got a new gearbox that's going to be coming in. So fortunately, we're not having to work on reliability for an existing one of those. So right now we're working on the brakes and the front wing. Okay. Now, if we come out of that for just a moment and come to our calendar, our next race, what is going to be crucial? Well, we've got acceleration, low speed corners, and top speed. Of course, top speed is a spec product, and we're looking good there for reliability so far. But low speed corners. So we're going to need to get the reliability up for our front wing, which of course is already on the list. Also, brakes, we're going to need to get a lot of work done on those as well. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take those out, and I'm just going to concentrate on this part for now. And the reason I'm going to do that is because we already know that work goes much quicker whenever you have fewer parts in here than you have spots for. Okay, and obviously the fewer you have in here versus the number of slots you have available, the quicker the work gets done. So what I'm going to do is we only have 16 days here, so I'm going to take 8 days or thereabouts and try to get these up as high as possible. And then any further time that I have after that, we'll put on brakes. Unfortunately, we're not in a situation where we're going to get either of these all the way to the top, because you can see even with just these two, 5 days after the race. So we're not going to get to 100% on even just these two, much less all 4 of them. So because this is a more important part for the next race, I'm going to try to get it up to somewhere around 75 or 80, if at all possible. And then we'll spend whatever time we can on brakes and hopefully get them up also as high as possible. All right, so let's go ahead and see, we've got some sponsorship offers here to take a look at as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So we've got 3 offers here, 1 and 1. So we'll give those a little bit of time to work themselves out. But let's take a look at slot number 1. So given the choices we have, I can mark number 1 off pretty quickly. So we got 10th, 12th, and 13th as our positions. I really like this number. It's for a little bit longer than I might like, but this is the one that gives me both a great combination of upfront money and it wants me to finish the lowest possible. So I think we got a better shot at this one than we do this one. And if you look overall, only 50 additional thousand here. So I like this combination. Let's accept this offer. We get a little bit of upfront money, which of course only puts a small dent in where we are now. So we're going to let this run a little bit to let the parts be worked on, but not too terribly far because I'm going to want to see exactly where the cars are. But now we're at a point where we have both offers, or both slots have maximum offers. So here we go. Let's take a look. So based off of what I'm seeing here, I believe our best option is here. That's a lot of races, but it does give us 400K per race, which is pretty good. This deal, nice upfront money, but per race, when you average that out, not all that great. And same thing here, even though it's got some upfront money, it's just not as good of a deal as I like as in number 1. So not as much upfront money, but I feel a little bit better about our per race amount of money. And now let's take a look at our final open slot. All right, based off of what I'm seeing, I'm going to mark this one off pretty quickly. So we got a deal for 11 races and a deal for 15 races. So fairly long term, for more than a season anyway. So we got upfront money all in cash, 6.5 million, which breaks out pretty good per race. And then this number also breaks out pretty good for race. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. I think it's a little bit better offer for us. So we'll take that money. Now, for one thing, that's going to get us out of the red and into the green. But of course, that's only a temporary thing. We'll still be losing money per race, I'm sure. In fact, let's take a look at the finances. Yeah, we're back to 738,000 losing per race. So the key for us, if we come back over to our sponsor, is that here in 4 more races, we got a renewal there, 3 and 4 races there. So after 3 or 4 races, we're still going to be right on the verge of losing money again. And actually, it's going to be even quicker than that because we're going to continue to push our car development to get better and better and better. All right, and hopefully we can make it through the end of the season without being too deep in the red. All right, so let's see. Looks like Raphael has taken up snowmobile racing. That seems fairly dangerous, but gives him a little bit of an increase there for the next 19 weeks on a couple of stats. All right, let's come in and take a look at our car. Let's see where we are. Wow, okay, that didn't do a whole lot. I mean, we were in the 40s before. Now we're in the 60s, so it looks like I may have to just devote all of our time to this. Again, we'll see, but there's only 10 days left to our next race. So again, we're going to go into this next race with more condition problems, but hopefully it'll just be with the one part rather than multiple parts that we have to fix on each and every pit stops. Let's go ahead and continue on, and we might as well just let this thing go ahead and run all the way through basically the next race. Okay, let's go into our mail and see what we've got. And okay, we've got a vote here on removal of one of the GPs. All right, let's see what we've got. We've checked the check changes. We've got, so it'll just be removed. So we're simply getting rid of it. So we've got 3 already that are for it, 2 already against it. And you can see here, it says it will benefit the teams that struggle at the particular track. For us, we don't know if we struggle at this track or not, so I'm just going to abstain. We are really going to rack up some voting power for our next vote. All right, so it looks like it is approved 5-4. Okay, again, that really doesn't affect us very much at all. If anything, what it does is it lowers the cost because that's one fewer race on the schedule. Of course, if you're a good team, particularly good at that track, then that was an opportunity to make some money. So again, we'll see how that goes. All right, now we've got our gearbox is finished. So now we come in and do we want to fit this part? Well, no, we don't want to fit it right now because the reliability is horrible. But the key will be, if we look here, it is 445 is the maximum performance, which is, 50 plus higher than anything we have. And that is the most important thing. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Here's our gearbox. So we've got the two gearboxes. We're going to go ahead and work on performance. I'll tell you what, let's don't work on this one. There's not much of any difference there anyway. Let's go ahead and hold that out. We'll work here as well. Not a whole lot of work is going to happen either way. But let's see what else we've got. Let's go ahead and work in this area because we'll get to suspensions, but probably not all that quickly. And let's see. So we're working on a brake, and let's go ahead and work on this front wing. Okay, so we've got all of that going on. Let's go ahead and shift back over here, and you can see it did end up paying off to spend the time devoted and not fully work on all the brakes alongside, because now we're going to go ahead and clear those out. And I'm going to add this, and then we're going to go ahead and get started on brakes. Okay, so we've got these brakes that we're going to work on reliability for, and then we've got these brakes. Okay, so that will get the reliability working for our next event. And then, of course, we got a little bit of performance that we're going to work on here as well. In fact, I've already changed my mind, and I'm going to go ahead and try to get this performance up as high as we can. So I'm going to remove everything but that. The other parts had a little bit of room for improvement, but not really all that much. Not enough that I think it's going to make any difference on track, that is. All right, so we are ready to choose our sponsors. So you can see our qualifying effort in previous races. I'm going to go ahead and stick with that. Now, we don't have much of a bonus here, but I don't think it's really feasible for us to think about finishing in the top 6 at this particular juncture. So we're just going to try to minimize as much as we can how much money we're losing per race. All right, so if we fit the parts, both of the drivers are fairly content, but I'm sure, they would love to have, you see their comments here, minus 3% because the cars are just not all that good, minus 10% for Sergio. But again, performance increases are coming. We just got to give it a little time to catch up, and then also to get reliability going. So I like what I see here. Now, this gives us engines. We should be fine. I may have to dial back the engine a little bit so that we can conserve it just a touch. But now we're much better off with the front wing. We're in pretty good shape overall with the gearbox. And then we have a couple of spec parts here, which are in good shape as well. And so with that in mind, let's head to the racetrack. We've just completed our practice and qualifying session. And once again, we're going to be starting toward the back of the field. So we're going to split up the strategy in this race. It's an 18-lap race, and we can do it on one stop. I believe the medium tires are our only shot at doing that as far as tire wear is concerned. The soft tires, I don't think we have any shot of making them last at least 9 laps to do this on one stop. So we're going to have Sergio go on medium tires, and we're going to have Rafael do a 2-stop strategy on soft tires. As far as setups, we'll start with Sergio. You can see we got him up to 96%. So we're using that setup. His tire choice will be medium tires. Again, I've got a lot of issue with our ability to make that happen. I'm going to give him what would be considered 11 laps of fuel, but we're going to be pushing the engine a little bit. So that really I'm counting on that being about 10 laps, and we'll see. Maybe he can make that, maybe he can't. Okay, so we'll confirm that option, and then we'll come in for Rodriguez, and you can see here 95% on that setup, and we started out pretty low, and we're able to progressively get better with him. He's going to start out on the super softs, And we're going to start him out with trying to get about 6 laps of fuel, but we may stretch that to 7. Again, just depends on how things are going. And I know it slows him down a little bit to have extra fuel on board, but I'd rather be safe than sorry as far as that concerned. So I'm planning on about 6 laps, but we may see if we can go 7, if we can get some clean track, and if the tires will hold up. So a lot of ifs in there for sure. We're going to start both out on high and both out on neutral. Actually, no, we're going to push with Rodriguez, but again, we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure how long his tires are going to last. We need to back off of that. But again, all of that's the fun of doing the race, so you can see what works and what doesn't, because the best laid plans don't always work out. So we're starting 16th and 19th, and now as the race gets going, I'll try to keep an eye as best I can on, let's follow Raphael. He should have the more speed for sure here at the beginning of the race, being on the softer tire. But so far, that is not seeming to help him out. All right, we're trying to keep an eye on the tire heat. And so far, we're not seeing much tire heat for the medium tire, so I'll keep an eye on that. Boy, this is not a good start at all for Raphael. We need to, again, because he's making an extra pit stop, we really needed him to charge closer to the front, and instead he's laboring in the back. We're not getting any heat whatsoever into the medium tire, so I'm going to try to get some heat in there. We're looking pretty good on heat for Rodriguez, but again, the performance is terrible for him right now. So far, Sergio is looking like the better car, although that is really hard to believe as far as our finishing position. All right, now he seems to be picking it up a little bit. Again, tire wear is an issue for Sergio. All right, let's go ahead and adjust. Let's see, let's spin this around. Okay, hopefully we'll have no buildings blocking our view, but let's see, tire wear, 77% there, so not great, but not terrible either. All right, so we're in 17th and 19th, so still at the back of the grid, but it's a long race. And again, we'll see how everybody does on their pit strategy. Keep an eye on the top right-hand corner of the screen for our mini-map, and watch when the leaders, and of course, really everybody in front of us, starts to make a pit stop. All right, so we're not really able to make much headway, and so far, it's looking like the medium tire is the way for us to have gone in this race. So that gives Sergio a leg up. All right, tire wear is not looking great. Let's see. I have let the tires go way too far on Rodriguez, not paying attention, so they've gotten really hot. All right, now I have to back off some to try to bring that down, and if anything, try to save our brakes a little bit. So this first stint for us is really all about just trying to see what works on the car and what doesn't. So now we're at about half tire wear. I'm not sure if we're going to make it to that 9 lap to 10 lap window that we need for our one-stop strategy for Sergio. All right, in the meantime, Rodriguez really not showing too many ill effects from that tire situation. Now, we're working lap 6. I'm going to go ahead and set up his pit stop, have him come in for some fresh rubber. So we're going to set him up. And let's see, do we want to go 7.5? Yeah, because I think we're going to use a little bit more than 1. So if I go 6.5, I'm not sure I'm going to quite have enough to make it. So we'll go a little bit safe on this one. All right, we're going to have to fix these. We'll go ahead and bite the bullet to fix that. Everything else looks to be in good working order. So it's going to make for a little bit slower pit stop here. Okay, so let's go ahead and have him come in this time by. Okay, and with that in mind, we're going to switch over to Sergio, keep an eye on. Oh, so a mistake. So a bad pit stop there. All right, so not what we were looking for, but we did get his part worked on, and hopefully we won't have to work on it again, or if we do, maybe it won't take quite as long. So Sergio is now in 15th, and we're watching the laps go by. We're going to back off of this a little bit on his tires because, again, I've managed to let them heat up because I got myself distracted. So we're going to keep on the same strategy with not pushing the tires on either car on their second stint and see if we can't come out a little bit better. Okay, so 12th and 18th, keeping an eye on is, again, I'm not sure that our tire wear is going to make, we're finishing up lap 8, or starting lap 8 for everyone now, finishing up lap 7. So the question is, are we going to have enough to finish 9 laps on tires? And quite frankly, I'm not sure we are. I'm going to back him down a little bit more here. So we're not picking up a whole lot of spots, which tells me, again, I unfortunately have missed my opportunity to watch the upper right-hand corner of the screen for who's pitting and how. So, but we're not picking up a whole lot of spots due to pit stops, which tells me that we're probably not in good shape as far as that goes. Okay, I notice our tire heat is getting high over here. We're going to conserve that, back that down a little bit. Of course, tire heat has been high here, so we're on starting lap 9. Unfortunately, this does not look good for our strategy. Sergio, we're going to have him try to make this one last lap. Let's go ahead and set up his pit stop and have him. All right, so he's going to have 9 laps left. So let's go ahead and pump him up again so we can keep using everything. And so we'll have to fix this part. It looks like, although we might be able to chance that, and so Sergio may have some parts issues toward the end of the race, but again, we're hoping that we can get out of this with a pretty good finish. All right, so tire is getting down very low for him. Thankfully, we're getting down close to the pit area very shortly, so we'll have an opportunity to get some new tires on, but not a moment too soon, that is for sure. So he comes in, now we're in the pits. Let's see where he comes out. We'll swap over to Rodriguez. Everything is good. Now remember, we didn't choose to make any fixes on the car, so we're going to continue to take it easy on these tires. Now we've got lots of grip in the track, and that looks to continue. All right, so now we're looking at Rodriguez will be our next pit stop. He's running in 16th. Not great, but not horrible either. We need him to make at least one more lap, so we're working on lap 11 now, so I'm needing to make 2 more laps, one beyond this one, so that we can do our 6, 6, and 6 lap stints. All right, so we're 13th and 16th, and so far you can see what the difference is. Not a whole lot between the running positions on track for our 2 cars based on our strategies. All right, tire heat, not too bad, even though we're being very conservative on them. Not too bad there. And we're pretty good here. Maybe a touch high for Rodriguez, but really not bad at all. All right, so we're on lap 12. This is where we would be looking to pit. All right, so now we're looking to pit. I'm going to go ahead and move things up and have him be very aggressive as we come into the final pit stop. We're going to need 6. Let's go ahead and get 7 laps of fuel. Again, we're going to push, but not terribly hard. All right, we need to fix this. That will probably break. Let's see. I go from 9 to 15. And what does it do as far as our position? It doesn't really affect our position on track. So yeah, let's go ahead and fix that while we have an opportunity. Still the fast pit stop. Okay, so tire wear isn't too terribly bad here. Still 38% left, so we got enough to try to push for the remainder of the lap. Okay, fuel should just last long enough for us to get to pit road. You can see it's going down very quickly. All right, here we go. So we come in for our pit stop. Sergio will stream by. Okay, he is now in 14th. And now we've got, all right, Rodriguez. We need to back him down. And we're going to leave him at neutral for now. Sergio, his tire heat has gone down a little bit, actually. So we'll move him back up to neutral. All right, so 14th and 18th. All right, more pit stop. Well, it looks like a couple of cars anyway came in. So now we are 13th and still 18th for Rodriguez. All right, so we are hopefully done with pit stops for the race. We got 4 laps remaining and plenty of fuel. And at the risk of running somebody out, we're going to go ahead and have everybody push as hard as they can, and we're just going to let this happen and see what falls where it may. We've got a little bit of a gap to the 11th place car in front of Sergio. We'll see how his tires hold up. This should get a little bit more heat into his tires, running a little bit faster down the straightaway. Should lead to a little bit more braking than he needs. All right, let's take a look at his brakes. And yeah, we're down to 30%, just a little bit left before we get to that crucial red zone. But I think we're okay. Let's take a look at Rodriguez. And same thing, his wing isn't in great shape. I'm already seeing some parts indicators on the positions around us. So we're 11th and 15th right now. And it looks like we have a possibility of picking up a couple of more spots in the last couple of laps if these guys have some trouble. All right, so the leader is at now 2 laps to go. And at this point, we're just looking at possible failures as a way to move up in our finishing position. I hate to have it be that way. All right, we picked up one there with a slow car. And again, our medium tires really aren't the fastest tire to be on, that's for sure. But, oh, we got a slow car up in front of us. We're going to pick up, looks like a couple of spots there. And now we're up to 8th and on our final lap. Because the leader is well out ahead of us. 9th position looks like he's got some parts issues, potentially. So we're 8th and 13th. All right, looking good here. I'm happy. We're a good deal behind 7th, so we're not really going to pick up that spot, but we're going to hope that we can hold on here for 8th. And then we've got Rodriguez. Let's see if he can come home in 13th. He does. Okay, so not bad. Not bad. You know, not a perfect race for us by any stretch of the imagination. But we used what we had, I think, about as good as I could have. I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect strategy for me. It's always a work in progress, but I'll take 8th and 13th. All right, we'll let everybody finish up. Now we move over and see the winner, and we'll move on to the final few screens and watch as everything plays out. So overall, not bad at all. We finished roughly mid-pack, between 8th and 13th. You average that out, it's around a finishing position of 10. All right, scrutineering is no problem for us. It may very well be for some other cars, though. So, nope, 8th and 13th is where we will finish. Now, in the driver's standings, that moves us to 11th and 14th, and then moves us up one spot in the team championship. Of course, most pressing to us is that number 7 team now has 3 points, making it harder for us to catch them. That's what we're going to have to watch as we continue to move forward in our car development and hopefully an increase in our overall performance. All right, so no morale changes. We stay at 100% for both drivers. We came in seventh, expected seventh, so we actually gained a little bit of morale. So this is good. If we can, the higher we can keep this, the better off we'll be, and no changes in marketability. And we only managed to lose 638,000 this race, so we're down to 3.3 million. Again, we need that to last until we can get some more sponsorship opportunities and maybe get some more money in the door. All right, so we'll leave it here for this video. Thanking you very much for joining me in this Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager.